everybody, and welcome to another night of rants and article discussions. Good evening, everyone, and it's just me tonight because, as you guys very well know, me and my best friend live in a different. If you don't know, me and my best friend live in different states, so we make videos when we can. We recently uploaded the latest video we did, and we'll be doing another one together soon. But in the meantime, every now and again when I have time, I will upload my own videos as well to keep things rolling at a steady level, steady pace. So you guys don't go a long time without having content from us or just me. And so what has been going on so far is, well, we've been doing good here in California, having good rain. There's still lots of problems and hectic situations at the border, and it's going to be hectic for a long time to come because it's going to be hectic for a long time to come because there's just a lot of people that are seeking asylum and want to come into California. And you know, if you do want to do it the proper way, then it's going to take time, which I don't mind because I'm happy that it's getting done the proper way. But I mean, so yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Alaska and ask everyone to pray for all the people there. I just recently heard that there was a 7.0 earthquake that just happened there, so my prayers go out to Alaska, and hopefully that there won't be a tsunami that will hurt any islands that are nearby to Alaska, to the west of Alaska, and to the west of Alaska, because it's just going to be sad, and it's already hard for all the people that have been affected, and hopefully. And I'm glad that the mayor was able to already send out a signal to the president so that it could be considered a natural disaster and that aid can be sent in their way. So that, and hopefully there won't be a lot of deaths. But as of right now, they're still trying to put everything together and get over that situation and gather together everything that has happened so far. And if and when I do hear more, when I do hear more, I will keep you guys updated like I always do on all the news that's been happening. And so far, it's just Christmas. I've already been setting up for Christmas, and I'm not decorating too much, but what I have already done so far, I'll have pictures posted. Everyone can check out my Instagram for pictures of just the basic lights that we put up on front of our house and our palm trees, and we're putting up a little more lights in a balcony in the back, and that's about it. I didn't decide to do much decorating this year. Maybe I'll have a wreath if my cousin decides to make me one, but other than that, we're just being minimal, not too much decoration here, you know. Just basic to show that we're festive and part of the mood. In the future, of course, when I have my own kids, then Christmas definitely will be having a Christmas tree and do all that exciting fun. So today's article I have for you is coming from Pocket, getpocket.com, and it's from the this article's from the Harvard Business Review, and it's when solving problems, think about what you could do, not what you should do. Because when you're solving problems, you're supposed to think about what you can do to solve the problem and get to the solution, not just thinking about, okay, I should do this and I should do that, because that will get me to the answer. I mean, because they want you to think and be engaged in solving problems, not just, this is how it is and this is how it is. Well, when it's math, it's math. This is just how you do it, period. But when it's trying to solve problems for other things in life, it's what you could do versus what really you should do. And what really you should do, because like if you're trying to solve the problem of saying like, what should I do for the world? It's like, no, what can I do to better help the world? Of course, you can help feed the hungry, etc., And it's like, if you think about that you should do it, more likely than not, it's hard to just come up with a solution, solving the problem, and just saying should versus could, because, I mean, it more feels like it's coming from yourself versus like it's just something that you're doing because you have to do it. On a Sunday night in Modena, a picturesque city in one of the most well-known culinary regions of Italy, a couple and their 2 young sons dined at a 3 Michelin-star restaurant, Osteria Francescana. The father ordered the family tradition in evolution, a tasting menu with 10 of the restaurant's most popular dishes. One of them, Snails under the earth, is served as a soup. Snails are covered by an earth of coffee, nuts, and black truffle, and hidden under a cream made with raw potato and a garlic foam. As Maître Giuseppe Palmieri took the order, he noticed a slightly desperate look on the boys' faces. Palmieri turned to the younger boy and asked, what would you like to have? He answered, pizza. Of course the kids are going to want pizza, because the kids, when they hear the word snails, they're going to be like, ew, They're not going to want to eat snails. But of course, the parents, they want to try the tasting menu and what's good on their travel to Italy, especially the region that's well known for its culinary experiences, And I'm all about culinary too. But I've never tried snails, and I doubt I ever will. My parents have, and I know some other people who have tried it, and they say it's good. It just tastes like, of course, it just tastes like it came from the earth, because that's where snails come from. But it's not my thing, and I'm like, never gonna think about trying it. Unless someday someone puts it right in front of my face and says, here, try it, Yeah, maybe, I'm not so sure. We'll see if that time ever comes, but please, any of my friends who watch this, don't even entice me. Don't even entice me, I don't want to. Unless it's like a dare kind of thing, but, Hopefully nobody will dare me. Osteria Francescana is not the kind of place that offers pizza, yet without hesitation, Palmieri excused himself and called the city's best pizzeria. A tax showed up not long after with the pizza, and Palmieri delivered it to the table. many fancy restaurants this would have been unthinkable. The two children and their parents will likely never forget Palmieri's act of kindness. And, as Palmieri told me, simply a change of course, and one pizza. See, if you're the maitre d', you can make a lot of decisions for the restaurant since you're in charge of the front of the house. So, and the owner is not going to really question you if the customers are going to pay for the things that you're going to do, and plus to make their dining experience happy. Like, okay, this restaurant is it's a fine dining restaurant that has out of the ordinary food, and they make things that may not seem normal, but the kids, they're not going to be inclined to eat it. But the parents, just because they have kids with them, they don't want to compromise their travel experience. And at the same time, they don't want to just leave their kids at home, or if they're old enough, in the hotel room. Even if they're old enough, they don't want to leave their kids in the hotel room. They want their kids to join them in the experience. Maybe their kids will just eat something different. Of course, he knew that there was no pizza on the menu, but he didn't see anything else that the kids probably would be willing to eat, and he didn't really want, I guess he didn't want to ask the chef if they could make something. I mean, if it was me, I probably would have asked the chef if he could make something for the kids, but I think maybe the chef was just geared, maybe he knew that the chef was just geared on this, on what he was serving for the night, so he didn't have time, or he didn't have time or anything just to make something for the kids, so he just decided, okay, I will order them pizza from the best place I know and have it delivered here, and then feed it to the kids. And of course, I doubt that he was going to tell them that they didn't have pizza there, but I bet by looking at the menu that the parents probably knew it, but they weren't going to mention anything also to their kids and let their kids have their own fun experience, Nobody likes a troublemaker at work. We've all had colleagues who annoy or deviate from the script with no heads up, causing conflict or wasting time. Jerks and show-offs who seem to be difficult for no good reason. People who break rules just for the sake of it and make others worse off in the process. But there are also people who know how to turn rule breaking into contribution. Rebels like Palmieri deserve our respect and our attention because they have a lot to teach us. If you're curious to know which type rebel you are, you can find out by taking this free assessment. I did not click to take the assessment, see what I am, but if I can get a link to the free assessment, I will put the link down below for all of you, and you guys can take the free assessment and see which type of rebel you are. And if I'm able to take the assessment myself, I'll post down below my results to the assessment. And yes, I mean, there are people at work, sometimes managers and owners, they don't want you deviating from what's supposed to be the norm for your job and what you're supposed to do. They just want you to do the best you can with your tasks at hand and what you're given and stuff like that. I mean, I used to work in a place like that where the big boss, she's like, that's not part of your job description, that's not your thing to do, or we don't do that thing here like that, you have to go do this and go do that, go do it this way and go do it that way, or go ask somebody else. I mean, if you know how to do it and you have the resources to do it, why not just do it? I mean, excuse me, you go above and beyond your job and make the people, the residents that lived where I work, they were happy that they could get the help they needed from me, and they would ask me to do various different things. If I couldn't do it, of course I couldn't do it. They'd find someone else who could. But I mean, if I'm able to do it, why not? Even if it's above and beyond what I'm asked to do, you know? Excuse me, I mean, and if I can make certain decisions myself as the front desk, I consult whom I need to consult, and I know that, you know? And I do what I believe is best. But I mean, she's like, oh, I guess she wants to be the only one involved and know it all, and all certain manager or whatever managers on duty needs to always be aware of everything. I'm like, us co-workers, if we can handle things ourselves without really creating any issues for the managers and people, you know, then they should be happy that we're trying to help them and problem solve our own situations and do what's best, you know. And they should trust us that we know when to call them for help and do things, you know, because we can report things to them, and of course they'll tell us if we did it wrong and they'll correct us and say stuff. But there's certain things that, you know, people in charge of their station should be able to do. Like, I mean, you're not trying to be a troublemaker and cause, and you know, deviating from your script won't cause conflict, like in this situation, you know, because then if there's nothing else for the kids to eat, what would they do, you know? You know, it's not like these people went there and automatically assumed. I guess I don't know what these people were thinking and what they assumed, but in my opinion, they thought, well, we'll try this. Maybe, you know, they'll be able to do something for our kids because we want to do this, you know? And it's not really being a show-off. It's just doing your job and making everybody who comes there happy. Because you want to make good money for the restaurant. You want to make good money for the establishment. You want to get good tip for yourself too, you know. So that's what it's thinking about. But in my job, I was just working front desk, so I didn't get tips. But happy residents equals a happy place to live, and everybody gets what they need and the services they need and things done and stuff like that, you know. It's the little things that make people happy mostly, you know. And if managers and the big people don't see that and they just want you doing what's your job description, and if it's not part of your job description not to do it, it kind of sucks, because that's not the kind of job I want to be in. The job I am in now, I get to make my own decisions and go above and beyond and do what is necessary, and I consult the right people, my bosses and stuff like that, and I consult the managers when they're part of it, and make the right decision, and I'm allowed to make my decisions as well, which are executed. And you know, if it helps the manager, if it helps her, my boss, then she's happy about it, you know. It's not like she's going to say no, because, you know, it's one less thing that she has to worry about, because she has her own agendas and things she has to take care of that I don't know how to do and I'm not part of, you know. One of the biggest lessons is given a challenging situation. Kids who want pizza, we all tend to default to what we should do instead of asking what we could do. My colleagues and I did an experiment in which I gave participants difficult ethical challenges where there seemed to be no good choice. I then asked participants either, what should you do, or what could you do? I found that could group were able to generate more creative solutions. There's no problem with a should mindset gets you stuck in the trade. The choice entails and narrows the trade, and what the choice entails narrows our thinking to one answer, the one that seems most obvious. But when we think in terms of could, we stay open-minded, and the trade-offs involved inspire us to come up with creative solutions. See? When you think outside of the box and say, what could I do? Then you think of different things like what this maitre d' thought of, going elsewhere to get a pizza and bring it here. He knew it's controversial to bring food from another establishment into this establishment, but if you don't have anything to provide for the kids to eat, then you might as well have your best option, you know. And then you just tell your boss later, this is what you did, and you made everybody happy, they got good tips, they paid for the pizza, and you charged them the total price, what it cost you to get the pizza and have it brought over to your restaurant, you know. I mean, you know, if they paid for all of that and you didn't lose money in the process, then, you know, all the better. Everyone was happy and they had a great dining experience. See, you have to think, what should you do, not what could you do. Like, if they thought, what could I do? Okay, well, I'll go to the kitchen and see what they can scrap up for them. You know, maybe he already went to the kitchen and asked them what they can do, and maybe he wasn't happy with that choice, you know. Maybe he wasn't happy that, oh, we could just make them this measly whatever grilled cheese sandwich. I mean, if he's allowed to go and get a nice pizza for them, why not? Of course, if it was against the rule, then he'd go and then if it was against the rule or there was some reason he couldn't do that, then of course he wouldn't do it, you know. But you have to see your options, because if all you can get is a measly peanut butter and jelly sandwich while your parents are eating some bougie food that maybe you as kids are not comfortable eating, then, you know, great. But I mean, you have to get them something bougie that they would like too, like pizza for kids, you know, or spaghetti, for instance, you know. It's also good for the kids to be able to share the dining experience in their own way, what they're comfortable eating, you know. Maybe when they grow older, they'll be like their parents and try more interesting foods, but at the moment, at their age, they probably wouldn't be their fancy. At work, of course, the what could we do person is also the one who is slowing things down. What if and how about are questions that keep adding options to the discussion. But rebels understand that it's always worth resisting time pressure to give yourself a moment to reflect. Consider an extreme example. Captain Chesley B. Sully Sullenberger is the pilot of the U.S. Airways jetliner that shortly after taking off from New York's LaGuardia Airport in January 2009, hit a flock of birds and lost both its engines. Sully, having 155 people on board, had very little time to find a place to land in a city of tall buildings. Most captains would have taken the most obvious course and tried to land at the nearest airport, likely with catastrophic results. Sully worked through the standard emergency procedures, what he should do, but also allowed himself to think about what he could do. He decided to put the plane down on the Hudson River and everyone was saved. See, I mean, when you're struggling with like an emergency like Sully had, of course he radioed the control tower and told him of the situation, but at the same time he was thinking, how can I do this without affecting the lives of my fellow passengers? Yeah, if I tried to fly to the nearest airport, even if it's the smallest one that they have for like small planes, you know, what's my time? You have to think about time frame, and you have to think about the lives of the people you have there. Oh, I can land in the water, and yeah, we go back to discussing that, yeah, you have to think about what's best to do, because Captain Sully, he did the best he could do with what he was given, but then he did what he knew he should do for himself, and didn't just wait for answers of other people at the radio tower, telling him what he could do, what he should do, you know? He thought to himself, what can I do to save my passengers? So he landed in the water, and he saved all his passengers, and of course, there were just minor injuries, but everyone was alive, and then they just had the rescue boats come and take everyone safely to land, have them all checked out, and he was the hero. He didn't do it to become a hero. He did what was best just to save all his passengers. And that's what we have to think about. Even if it slows us down, like, what if, and how about this, it slows you down if you're just going to question everything and then ask people what they think about it. You just do it, and whether they agree with it or not, fine. You get in trouble or you get praised. If you're willing to take the risk, it's a 50-50 chance, you know. But sometimes people have to try to trust you so that, and then see at the end, you know. I know it's hard for people to just trust someone while they're thinking of what could go wrong, you know. So it's hard, even for us to just do the should instead of the could. Another problem people have with rebels at work is the conflict that sometimes results. Rebels are prone to disagreement, but some tension is a positive thing, because it can help get people to move past should to could. When we experience conflict, research finds we generate more original solutions than when we are in a more cooperative mood. When there is tension, we also tend to scrutinize options and deeply explore alternatives, which leads to novel insights. Understanding this, Ariel Investments, a money management firm headquartered in Chicago, appoints a devil's advocate during meetings who is charged with poking holes, and this serves the firm well during the 2008 financial crisis. The approach helped them be thoughtful about the stocks they followed. One person who followed a particular stock would make a recommendation on buying or selling it. Another would argue the opposite. Of course, you want to hear someone who owns someone's opinion on one way and someone's opinion in the other way. It helps you make a better decision in the end, because you want a non-biased person versus someone who obviously owns the stock too. And in any case, that's always good to have someone there poking their hole and making comment on this and that, because it will help you make for a better decision, because people who come from the outside, they can see things that maybe you overlooked when you're the one in there who owns the stock, or are thinking more about your clients and the people that will be affected aside from yourself, you know. So it's good to have someone from the outside looking in, giving you commentary. Because when you're involved in high tension, you tend not to think about these things, and you end up not seeing certain things because you're just trying to look, you're narrow-minded and trying just to look at what's happening right there in front of you, you know, and you miss stuff that could help you potentially solve your problems. I have found in my own research, when people are asked to meet two goals that appear to be odds, their ideas are more innovative. For example, my colleagues and I invited participants in one experiment to use limited supplies to build prototypes of different products in the laboratory. We told some of them to build novel products. We told others to build cheap products, and told the third group to build a novel product but keep costs low. We then ask another group of people to evaluate all the products three groups created on their originality. The products that received the highest scores were those created by people who had what appeared to be a conflicting goals at the outset. Of course, the conflict and disagreements can be taken too far, but making things harder can yield better results. Osteria Francescana is a place where rule breaking is encouraged, right from the top. The chef and restaurant's owner, Massimo Bottura, does not fit the usual leader's mold. He is in the trenches, cleaning the streets out of the restaurant first thing in the morning, helping with the prep and the staff meals, playing soccer with the staff between services, and unloading delivery trucks. He delights in challenging the conventions of Italian cooking. A century ago, boiling meats for the Italian dish, bollito misto, boiled mixed meats, was a practical choice, given limited cooking methods. Cooking the meat sous vide, as Bottura did, transformed the dish, which he calls bollito non bollito, boiled meats not boiled, into one that's more flavorful and pleasing to the eye. See, if you go out of the norm, you can make things better. And as someone who owns the restaurant, you're not just going to do the regular tasks of the owner. You're going to go above and beyond to engage with everybody that works there and make them think out of the box too, and encourage that. And you work right there with them and help them with all their tasks as well, and engage with them. And that helps them know that you got their back and that you will acknowledge their opinions if they have a better solution and way of doing something. Or if you have something better and you propose it to them, of course they'll be more willing to try it because they know that you're on their side and you're not just thinking about how just making money for your business and doing things a certain way and not expanding your horizons. When other members of the staff see their leader do the unexpected, they embrace it as well. They know that they work in the kind of place where ordering a pizza for two desperate kids will not be looked down on. We can all learn from Palmieri, but we can also learn from the kind of place where it works, where rebels are made to feel at home. So they say that they're rebels because they're doing something out of the norm of what you're assigned to do in the restaurant. Like when he went out and got a pizza, because they didn't serve pizza there and served it to the kids, when the parents were eating the bougie meal that they wanted to and the dining experience they wanted to experience from that restaurant. He was rebelling against what was traditional and doing what he believed would be right to make the dining experience well for everyone. And that's what we should do in all aspects of life, not just our own personal life, but in the workplace too. And if we get bosses that aren't on the same wavelength as we are, or who don't agree, then maybe that's not the job we should be at or where we should be. And I know some people just conform because they need the job or don't want to go and look for something better where their ideas are acknowledged and they can be rebels in getting better results out of their decisions and choices they make that they think is better for the job. So, in my opinion, that was my opinion, and that's why I left my job, because I was going above and beyond and doing what I thought, but it wasn't very well acknowledged, and I was getting in trouble for it. So, I found something better where my ideas and sometimes rebellions get acknowledged, and it ends up being for the better. Sometimes it's not, and then you learn from it. But most of the time, it's good, and you make better of it. Well, everyone, this was tonight's article, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any comments or opinions, you can comment down below, And if you have any questions or concerns, you can send them to the email listed below. And if you want to take the assessment and see if you're a rebel or someone that conforms to what is set for you, the free assessment will be linked down below, and I will link my results down below as well when I find it and take it as well. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully in another video with Stephanie, and she'll show you her latest projects that she's been working on. Subscribe, like, and check out all our other links to our social medias down below, and to all the stuff that Stephanie's selling down below. And you'll see me, and you'll see her as well in another video. Thank you, and have a nice evening.